Hey, beautiful souls, beautiful sunshine here with the R Holistic Healer, aka Sonia B. So I'm back with 7 quick prophetic messages that I have. Okay, so actually I tried to record a video the other day and I'm actually redoing it, and I'm adding the other messages that I received last night in that as well too. So anyway, I already have some pre-shuffled cards that already came out in the prior video, so I was being divinely guided to save those cards, but I'm also going to pull some cards from this deck as well too. So if you want to stick around to the end. But anyway, so the first message that I received was, this came in on March 28th, right? So some of you guys are going to find yourself being divinely guided to go and hang out around water somewhere. In particularly, it could be somewhere where there's a bridge, but there's water, you know, whether it's a big bridge or whether there's a small bridge, but it's going to be, I'm hearing pivotal, that you guys go and hang out around water. Water can be cleansing to the soul, and this could be the reason why you guys are being divinely guided to go and hang out around water. You know, water is also almost like a purifier as well too. It helps to cleanse the aura, just like going out in nature. It's also a cleanser as well too. Anyway, so the next message that I received on March the 29th was, okay, some of you guys may find yourself possibly being in the presence of, let's just say, maybe 2, I'm hearing influential people. I'm not going to say influential because it could be a case of these people. So the particular thing here is about labels, okay? So I'm going to just describe the label to you, but God, again, is trying to get us out of that label calling. But in order for me to get you to understand what it is I'm trying to say, I have to use the labels. So with that being said, it's going to be somebody who's considered like, famous, should I say. And you know, whether this is somebody on YouTube or whether this is somebody in social media, TikTok, you know, whether this is somebody who's actual famous in real life, I don't know. It's going to be different for every person. You know, everybody's situation is going to be different. In some cases, it could be somebody that's actually famous, you know, who has, you know, been on TV shows and so on and so on. But basically the way I saw this was, it came in the form of, if some of you guys are going to find yourself being around particularly maybe 2 people who are in the spotlight some way, somehow, in a sense. And I got it that the first person, okay, they came like, for instance, with their hair being like green, and green was just kind of standing out. But in particular, this person was supposed to be like in a TV sitcom that had taken place. Let's just say, this is just how the message was being given to me. Again, it's going to be different for everybody. So it's going to be in the presence of 2 people who obviously have had some sort of attention in some sort of way, okay? They could have even been a big person who is well known at their job. You know, take it how it resonates. But in particular, one person's going to come and they're going to be a little dramatic. Let me say that, okay? They're going to, you're going to notice that they're just a little dramatic, because it's almost like people put this person up on a pedestal like, yeah, you don't know who that person is, in a sense. And some of you going to be like, no, I don't know who that person is. And then it's like, well, they played in this, and that. You don't remember that show? You'd be like, no, I don't remember that show. But then in particular, it may boil down to just maybe one particular thing that you remember them from. And then you'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, I remember that show, but I don't remember them, in a sense. So I say all that to say, some people may find themselves in that situation, in a sense, where somebody's trying to describe to you who this person is and you don't know who they are. But anyway, nevertheless, and then you also have, at that same particular, it was like a party, in a sense, a gathering. So there was another person there who was supposed to be famous as well too, right? So this person, they like to be low key, in a sense. Again, take it how it resonates. It could be somebody who's famous. It could be just a supervisor that everybody knows, maybe they like, and you know, whether it was actually somebody starring in the TV show, or whether it's just somebody who is just, again, on social media, the spotlight in some way, shape, or form. But this other individual came in, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you. The other individual who had the green hair, it's almost like they came being a little dramatic, in a sense, because not only was their hair green, but they wasn't really doing anything particular off the wall, but they just kind of stood out a little bit. You know, if you think about it, it's almost like me and my gray hair. I like this color, but anyway, so, but they came with green hair, and I say all that to say, but there was also a helicopter too that was hovering over, so it was almost like they were a little dramatic, in a sense, for us letting their presence be known, that, oh, do you know who I am, in a sense? And what I'm hearing Spirit say, almost like we Reese Witherspoon. She was like, do you know who I am? You know, not to make fun of her, but that's what just Spirit just brought to my attention. Thank you, Spirit. Anyway, but with that being said, this other gentleman, he didn't like necessarily being in a spotlight, in other words. So therefore, it's almost like he was low-keyed, and he doesn't really attach himself to labels. He doesn't really care about somebody looking at him as if he's famous in some sort of way, whereas the other guy does. So I say all that to say all that to say that the other guy, it's almost like coming with the labels in a sense somehow kind of offended him in some sort of way. Not offended him to the point that he kind of caught an attitude, but he was just like, dang, why do people always got to be attaching labels to everything? Okay, you know, I'm okay. In other words, it was almost like he was saying that, yes, I'm such and such, but, you know, just like I'm in the spotlight, you also have something good about yourself as well, too. So just because I'm in the spotlight, don't put me up on a pedestal, in other words, because I'm just an average person, just like, you know, each and every other people that's out here. And it's almost like he was just basically trying to say that, you know, if people stop attaching labels to certain things, that society will be so much better, because nobody would think that they're greater or higher than anyone else, in a sense, in other words. So in some sort of way, he just kind of took a little offense to it, in a sense, like, you know, stop attaching labels. So anyway, but that was it for that dream. So some of you guys may find yourself running into people like that who don't really care about those particular things. And, you know, it could be a situation that maybe you're bringing up labels and they're just like, okay, and so just giving you the heads up. And then, and I'm sorry, trying to read through these notes. And then we have the situation of, okay, then it's going to be a situation of, and this one actually came out yesterday when, was it yesterday? I think okay, anyway. So we all know about the whole Oscars thing that went on with Will Smith and Chris Rock, which I find it kind of, you know, not funny, but God had actually given me a message after me seeing that. And that was yesterday, I believe it was, when my daughter mentioned it to me about the Oscars. But anyway, so basically what I'm seeing is there's an energy that we're dealing with right now, you know, and basically what it is almost like I'm seeing this. It's almost like a battle. It's almost like a battle, because the way God gave it to me was, it's like, it could be a situation that you may find yourself having an issue with a neighbor or just with somebody in general. But in this dream, I saw a neighbor as well as a situation of just with somebody in your passing or just somebody within your immediate environment. Okay, so take it how it resonates. But I saw that neighbors were having like issues like with each other, you know, pertaining to their pets and so on, you know. And whereas one person who could have been like in their 30s, or let's just say maybe 35 or 40, found themselves kind of having an issue with somebody who's probably a little older, somewhere around about their 50s or whatever. But you know, there was like a little bit of name calling taking place with the younger person, whereas the older person basically kept it calm, cool, and collect, in a sense. So with that being said, I also noticed that after switching scenes, basically what happened was I ended up in a school building, right? So at this moment, one of the ladies who was a little younger, she ended up also at the same place that I was, but not just yet. So as I entered into the building, for those of you who do not know, anytime I see dreams where there's a school building, this is like a lesson that, you know, some of the people who are at this particular stage in their journey where they're learning a lesson in regards to, it's more so of like, how can I say it? They're learning a lesson, because the way God had given it to me, it was like, they weren't necessarily wrong, nor were they right, in a sense. So it was like, again, not attaching the labels, because the way he gave it to me was like, she wasn't wrong, but she wasn't necessarily right either. So anyway, but with that being said, because as I walked into the building, I noticed that there was this lady who was a custodial person, and basically she had a little cart with a little mop bucket attached to it. And I asked her, I said, yeah, I said, excuse me. I said, is this restroom open? And then she said, I don't know. I've been trying to use the restroom all day. So what happened was I went over there and pulled the door, and I realized that the restroom door was open. And as soon as I pulled the door to see that it was open, all of a sudden a line had appeared behind me out of nowhere, okay? So I remember the lady saying that she'd been trying to use the bathroom all day. So basically, because I had pulled on the door and noticed that it was open, I basically told her that she can go ahead of me, you know, to use the bathroom, because she said she had been, you know, needing to use the bathroom all day. So I had allowed her to go in front of me, but there were some people behind me, and it was the girl who also had the issue with the older lady in regards to her neighbor, should I say. She was also in that line, and she was maybe more so towards the end middle, but then she was like, in so many words, she got a little agitated because I was at the beginning of the line, and I had allowed the custodial lady to go in front of me, and the lady who was behind me, it was almost like her mindset was like, well, shoot, I got to use the bathroom too. So, you know, like, you letting her go in front of you, so we got to use the bathroom too. That means one more person is ahead of me. So in other words, she walked out of the line and she walked up into the bathroom as she was taking off her coat so she can get ready to go use the bathroom. But in any instance, it's almost like God was just revealing to me, like, again, neither one of them was right nor wrong, should I say, in the way that they handled the situation. Because the first thing that I am being told is you have to realize that we are all at different phases. We are all at different stages. We all are learning different lessons. We all are having kind of same situation, but different scenarios in a sense that we're dealing with. So a lot of these events could be happening from situations that we are meant to deal with from past lives, or even if it's in this lifetime that we're meant to deal with. Because in other words, for instance, she could have been responding from a place, again, I'm not saying that it's right or wrong, but, you know, only karma tells that. You know, when karma comes back, then you see exactly where you may have been right or where you may have been wrong at, in a sense. But it's almost like, you know, in particular with her coming to the front of the line and cutting in front of other people, because she was like, shoot, I'm not standing here, in so many words, even though she didn't say it, but her attitude was saying that it all, like, no, I'm not waiting here, I'm going to the bathroom, in a sense. Because she could be, maybe in a past life, it was a situation, and even if it's not a past life, it could be a situation of now. Maybe she was always letting people go to the bathroom ahead of her, and then all of a sudden, it's like, maybe she may have let's just say, use the bathroom on herself at one point because she was being so generous and allowing people to go ahead of her. So that's why it's important for us to not judge the situation, in a sense, because we don't know what people have to maybe possibly deal with. So that was just an example. So moving on. And then there was... Okay, and then some of you guys, if some of you guys maybe either know somebody that is expecting, or if you are maybe a grandparent of someone who is expecting, some of you guys, and this message may not be for everybody, but some of you guys could be seeing the child before the child actually arrives, is what I saw, in a sense. And it's almost like, in other words, like the baby, like seeing the child before the child actually arrives, in other words. Arrives, excuse me. In spirit. Thank you, Spirit. So just, again, just basically pay attention to your dreams, okay? For some of you, because some of you could be experiencing this. And then I also received the message, which was this morning, and this one was about, okay, this one was interesting because it goes right along with this whole energy of like, kind of like this energy that we're dealing with right now after the whole... It doesn't have anything to do with the Oscars. I think it just has a lot to do with just the energy and the transition that we're dealing with right now for us, like astrology-wise and planetary shifts. Because I think this is energy going into the Aries season, if I believe. And, you know, Aries usually represents, you know, sometimes, you know, Aries energy can be a little aggressive, a little cocky, a little arrogant, a little macho. which is so funny because the song that I heard yesterday when I was trying to record this video was the song of Heavy D, and I have not heard this song in a minute, and I'll put it in the description box below, but you can go and read the lyrics to it. But it was talking about and when that came, I was like, whoa. I was like, Spirit threw that one way. The Spirit had a throwback moment. But the song was Mr. Big Stuff. All I heard was, oh yeah, I'm rough and puff and all that stuff. I make you dance and prance till you huff and puff. There's just no way you can get enough of me. You're Mr. Big Stuff. And it goes on and on. But anyway, read the lyrics. I'll put it in the description box below. So anyway, but also I saw this message. So this is something to be mindful as well too, because in this dream, I don't know if this is going to be during Aries season, should I say, but be mindful, because even today, like when I went to go walk my dog, this kid was just like yelling out the window, woo! And he was just really loud, bunch of teenagers in the car. And I was like, okay, that, you know, it's that arrogant energy that was just coming out. But anyway, so with that being said, in this dream, it's almost like I saw like people being chased in a sense. So be mindful of that as well too. Like somebody was being chased in a sense. So and they was actually like running into a store and telling somebody to call like 911. So I am telling you guys this to have the heads up. So just be mindful of, you know, possibly just pay attention to your surroundings, should I say, because it could be a situation. I don't know how this, but I got the feeling of like it was teenagers in a sense, like teenagers that this situation was happening with, like that they was chasing someone. So just be mindful of that as well too. So yeah, so I just want to give you the warning for that. Anyway, and then this last message that I received was be mindful of who you eating from, should I say, because I saw it from a standpoint of somebody fixing some food, right? Or baking some food. They was baking like a dessert, and the first thing I heard them saying was in the sense like, you know, I'm putting something in here, putting something in it. So apparently it's two different dishes that they baked, and I'm putting something in here, and I want to see if you can tell the difference between the two, whether you notice that I put something in it or not. So I don't know what that's about, but just be mindful of, you know, who you're eating from and so on, and even question people, you know, but people can tell you anything, even if you're questioning. But, so yeah, but I'm gonna leave that there real quick. I have one more message, but I'm gonna keep that one separate because that one is, with these other cards, but I'm gonna do this one real quick. Divine Spirit of Light, what message do you have for this overall message? What message that is a pure white light and pure unconditional love only that you have for this prophetic message? What do you want the collective to know? What do they need to be aware of? What do they need to watch out for? And what's being healed right now? Sun. Ooh. Feminine energy. All right, so it says darkness. It says darkness. The moon, the tides, the quiet gesture before the chaos. Oh my God, like, okay. In case you guys don't know, in the yin and the yang symbol, in the yin and the yang, it's the dark side of the yin and the yang symbol represents the feminine energy, and the white side usually represents the masculine energy. I was trying to see if I can pull it. Anyway, let me just... So darkness, the moon, the tides, the quiet gesture before the chaos, the void. These are all aspects of feminine energy, passive, waiting, gestating, and nurturing. It is the opposite of the prior card, so very different, yet the perfect companion. Perhaps you have yet to find your feminine side. The life you are leading right the life you're leading right now has given you opportunities to embrace this part of you. But between the two opposing energies, feminine energy is the harder one to embrace. It requires trust and a lack of fear. Okay? Trust and a lack of fear. Trust that all is as it should be in the absence of the fear of things not getting done. Perhaps the past you have been hurt when you were embracing your feminine energy. And I just said that too, because remember when I said the lady was in the line and she was like, I'm not waiting here, I'm going to the bathroom. And that's why I said in a previous life, it could have been this, or in this lifetime, it could have been an instance where she was just being so kind to the point that she got tired of being kind because she was being stepped all over, or a situation or maybe she was neglecting herself in the process of being kind to other people, to the point that she was like, no, I'm not allowing anybody else to go. I need to use the bathroom too, just like they need to use the bathroom in a sense. That's why I said, again, you know, nobody's right, nobody's wrong in that situation. Trust that all is as it should be, and the absence of the fear of things not getting done. Perhaps in the past you had been hurt when you were embracing your feminine energy, physically or mentally. Thank you, Spirit. This was the free will of the person who hurt you. It was not caused by being who you were. Do not let the actions of another dictate who you need to be. Examine your feminine side. Become friends with her again. Alternatively, this card represents an important woman in the seeker's life. Okay? So even if that woman is representing yourself, or whether it's representing, you know, somebody that's close to you in a sense, you just have to examine who it was that, you know, possibly have allowed you, you know, who basically took advantage of your kindness in a sense. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to end that there, but I'm going to do this other quick video. So this one is important too, and I just wanted to keep this one separate, okay? But anyway, I wish you all much love and much light, and I say peace and blessings. Bye.